Hi, Greek 1 students. It has been a great privilege and joy to have you as students this last semester. And there may be a few of you, I hope it's only a few, who will not be continuing with Greek 2, because I really look forward to meeting you in the new semester. As you can tell, I'm getting ready to leave. We're packing our bags, last minute things we have to do, and plan to return to Lahore by next week. My wife's mother is in the hospital, so that may delay our return. I'm not sure right now. Thank you for your prayers, as I pray also for you, and pray that this semester, in spite of the difficulties we have had with teaching, very different from what it would normally be, teaching and learning, I hope that has been beneficial for you and will continue to be so in the future. Greek 2 really opens up new vistas for us as we continue on and begin to translate the New Testament. We have enough then with chapter 12. Once we have gotten that material under us, we have enough to begin translating portions, and it begins to become interesting for you, much more interesting than it has until now. So you need to go ahead and explore the registration with Greek 2. If you're not familiar with how to do that, please contact Ms. Zanaria. She's responsible for that, and you have her email and her phone number. So please take care of that as soon as possible. We will be meeting in a classroom on campus. Your class, all of this class, the ones who are taking Greek 2 will be divided into 2 parts. This is university policy. We can't change it. Those whose student IDs end in 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9 will be on 1 week together. And those who end in 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 will be on the week afterwards. And it will alternate 1 week the odd numbered IDs, and the next week the even numbered IDs. We will be meeting on Tuesday evenings, Tuesday late afternoons from 4 to 7 in a classroom that we will be designated for us on campus. When you are not on campus, the week after your campus meeting, when you're not on campus, we will have our classes virtually, and you'll probably be looking at class recordings. I will simply record the class for those who can be on campus and post it on Moodle for those who can't. Again, this is university policy and we can't change it, but it will be good to at least have half of our time together in person, as opposed to the virtual learning that we have had to use up until now. It will be half virtual and half together. So if you have questions about that, please contact Ms. Zanaria, or also Masood knows details. He is not responsible for registration. For registration, you need to contact Zanaria. Now, I'm sure that many of you are interested in the final exam. The final exam will be sometime between February 22nd and the 1st of March. These are the final exam days of this semester. You must have all your homework completed by the end of the 22nd of February, which I believe is, I'm not mistaken, Monday. Let me check. Yes, Monday evening at 11:59, that's the end. After that, anything you send in will not count. I'm sorry, you can write anything you want. My mother's sick in a hospital, as in our case, or any other problem you have. It won't make any difference. we have to end the semester at that point. So that is your final date. If you're behind with homework, I encourage you, in order to pass this course, that you complete the homework that has been assigned to you. Now, homework for this coming, or for this current week, nothing has been posted because nothing is being assigned. However, your job this week is, and you should have been doing this all along each day, is to review. Use chapter 11 as your basis. Answer all of the exercises in chapter 11. This means, if I share my screen just briefly, I can share. This means going back to the textbook. And if we go to chapter 11, we scroll down here. You'll notice that in chapter 11, we have a review chapter. All of the answers to these exercises are in the back of the book, and not according to normal policy, which only gives you the odd number, 1 and 3 and 5, the answers in the back. In this case, with this review chapter, all review chapters in our textbook, every exercise is answered in the appendix, the first appendix. Now, please don't use this simply as theomen. I will copy the answer from the back. That you don't learn that way. So what you need to do is try and think estheomen. You know the vocabulary word estheo from chapter 2. We learned it very early in our course. The Greek word estheo. This ending is not estheo, but estheomen. Estheomen, o es a omen, ete usi. I eat, you eat, he, she, it eats. We eat, you plural eat, they eat, and this is, omen is we eat. So the answer is simply translated to English, we eat, or better, because it gives the sense of the usual sense of the Greek New Testament, of the Greek in the New Testament, we are eating, the progressive. But either answer is correct, we eat, or we are eating. And then you go through and continue on. Here you have an alpha omega verb. This is from chapter 8, ep erotao. So you need to go back and review the rules of contraction if you're not sure what this verb means and what this ending is. And you need to do translation. This first section concentrates on verbs. And it also has some from chapter 9, which for some of you may have been a little bit difficult. Not only learning the new vocabulary, but the new endings. But we have a new set of endings because we have not only the active voice in Greek, we have the middle voice and passive voice. The passive voice is well known to us in English. Active voice, John hits the ball. Passive voice, John is hit by the ball. Someone threw it and hit John. And the passive voice is not the action happened to John instead of John doing it. But we also have in Greek a middle voice, which we will explain later. In chapter 9, you were introduced to this middle and passive voice, and in the present tense, the middle and passive endings are the same. So the new endings, omai, e, etai, ometha, este, ontai. We notice we have you plural, and this simply means you go into, you plural go into, or you plural are going into. I'm looking at number 41 on exercise 11. Again, use this chapter, attempt each verb form or noun form translation. Attempt it, and then once you've attempted it, and especially if you don't understand it, go to the back of the book, look at the answer and compare it with yours and see if you made a mistake, why. And that way you can learn. If you have a problem, you need help, ask Masood. He is more than willing to help. You need to translate also all of these sentences because we're not learning just verb forms or noun forms. We're learning how to put them together in sentences. We've been doing that. So you have the rules of contraction. You have the prepositions. We have learned which case means upon with a P, which case means from, out of, away. Which preposition is this? It's not a P. I can tell you that. Which case, though, it means upon and with a P. So you need to fill in the blanks here. You need to write the full declension of ho logos, and I would encourage you to include the article with each of these words. Ho logos, to logu, ho logos, ton logon, the accusative, to logu, the genitive, and to logo with the oda subscript, the dative singular, and then the plurals, hoi, logoi, as you know them. I encourage you to give the articles when you write the full declension. If you like, you can send your answers for this chapter in to Masood for him to see and look at, and also especially if you have questions or problems. Here is a section on correct the following sentences. There's an error in each of these, and you need to look at and figure out where the mistake is and why. If you can't understand why the mistake is there, then you're missing something that you should know. Now, so go on and complete chapter 11. I encourage you to do the whole thing, complete it, write it down, write down your answers. Write down your answers to chapter 11. And if you like, you can send them to Masood for him to look at. You will not get credit for this homework assignment. It is simply the way that you need to review for the final exam. There will be two parts to the final exam. You will be notified after February 22nd when it is taking place, because the first part will be the oral part. Masood will be giving you the oral part. I will be choosing a day in which you have a 24-hour period. This is university policy. I have to follow it. In which you have 24 hours to give the Moodle portion. It will not be the 23rd of February. It will probably be later in the week. That week, it will be before the 1st of March. So you will have a day, and you will have an oral exam with your name on it, and you will give that oral exam as the Moodle part of your final exam. Again, I will notify you when that will take place, on which day, and on that day, I will have all the exams ready, and I will open them all at once, and each student will have 24 hours in which to give their particular oral exam, their Moodle exam. Your oral exam will be given by Masood, as you have done up until now, and he will test you on your knowledge using the oral method, direct contact with you by Zoom or by telephone. So that really completes what I have to say to you. What you need to do now, what you should have been doing all along, and I can assume it because I said this already, is to review all the time. Review your vocabulary words. Review them. Go back to chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, all the way through to chapter 10. You have lists of vocabulary words. If you don't know the words, then you can't pass the final exam.
Corinne, we don't need the test. They'll come out tomorrow.
Sorry, I just had a short interruption. That's it, basically. Learn your vocabulary. If you don't know estheo, then you won't know it won't help you to know the endings. Omen, o, ace, a, omen, eta, usi. If you don't know erchomai, I go or I come, either one, or I am going, I am coming, then you won't be able to understand erchomai, erch, ace, erch, a. You won't know the endings. Even if you know the endings, it won't help you because you won't know what erch ometha, we are coming. You won't be able to translate it because you don't know the vocabulary word. So you need to review all the vocabulary words that we have learned in Greek through chapter 10, and then review the grammar. Any questions you have, I must refer you to Masood, who will be able to help you further. And with this video, I am closing our semester, and I will be letting you know when the Moodle part of the final exam is. The oral part of the final exam you will be notified by Masood when that will take place. Thank you for thank you for being a student this semester. I apologize that it's been only virtual, but I look forward to seeing you and working together with you as we learn much more about God's Word, beginning in Greek 2. Goodbye.